Hello and welcome back. This is Christopher Aaron. This is the iGold Advisor channel. It is March 4th, 2022. I hope that you are staying safe and healthy. Let us have a proper silver price update because it has been a while since we have done that. Silver is in a very important technical level at this exact moment. Really critical to follow what is happening here over just the next several days if you are investing in silver or thinking about it. I do want to say briefly, if you are in either Russia or Ukraine and watching this video, my heart goes out to you on both sides, especially, of course, the people in Ukraine. It's a travesty and a very difficult situation on both sides from the humanitarian standpoint, of course, and anything I say here is insufficient to address that. However, I do want to just let you know for a moment from the financial side of things, if you're in Russia, for example, and you've just seen your currency devalued by 40% over the last month and a half, one way to protect yourself from that is through precious metals. Here you can see the 1-year price of silver is priced in Russian rubles per ounce. You can see fairly flat, grinding a little bit lower, but then here just over the last month and a half, price of silver is up almost 65% in Russian rubles. And if we switch over to gold, we can see gold here up the same, actually almost doubling from its lows here late last year. So more than outpacing the devaluation of the Russian ruble. So just keep in mind, whether you're in Russia, whether you're in Ukraine, whether you're in the rest of Europe, if this spreads to Europe, beyond Ukraine, not only that, if you're in the United States, because I really do think that what we're seeing here in Russia is a prelude to what we're going to see around the world. It's going to be a series of dominoes as one country devalues their currency and then another country does the same thing. And so you want to be positioned ahead of time. If you were just focusing only on the day-to-day and saying, well, gold is just grinding lower, forget about it, who needs it, right? And then you get a move like this, you want to be positioned, at least from an insurance policy standpoint, a wealth insurance policy, you need to be positioned when it's boring. You don't want to wait until things are already shooting higher to purchase your insurance, so to speak. So please consider this. I don't think these moves are over. It certainly looks like the war is not over. We don't know how it's going to end. But whether or not NATO gets involved, it looks like this is not over by any stretch of the imagination. So I do think this is still an appropriate time to be devoting some of your wealth to precious metals at the very least. Make sure to hit the red subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll get notified when these videos come out. And make sure to follow us on Twitter at iGlobalGold, because I don't always have time to do a video every single week, but sometimes I post quick updates on the charts on Twitter. Let's get to the silver price update now. Silver, 2020 to present. The important thing that we're seeing right now is this potential downtrend break here, primary downtrend break. When I say primary, I am labeling that in blue, and by primary we mean anything from 1 to 3 years, typically in that range. At least a year makes a primary trend. Now, we can see the last primary rising trend break that broke lower here going back into July of 2021. And it was this downtrend break. Notice the significance. Once you break a trend, notice how silver failed to recover that trend and then kind of had a mini collapse and then basically has been grinding since that. So the trend breaks are really important to follow, as are, on the opposite direction, the trend break upward, which is threatening to solidify right now. Now, just going back to this, if you watched our silver updates from several months ago, you will remember that we had been talking about this amplitude calculation giving us a target here of $18.45. The way that this works is that these target calculations are considered valid until proven otherwise. And when you're in a downtrend with a lower target, the thing that disproves, or in other words, nullifies a lower target is a break of the upper boundary of a downward structure. Remember this, the upper boundary of a downward structure is what can negate a lower target. So we are right at that level right now. The level that I'm watching specifically this week is 25.10. And here in the spot market, we are at 25.13 as this is going into the editing studio in just a moment. So it's right above that line. And in a moment, we'll zoom in here. But I want to show you, so if we can, let's say for a moment, let's assume, even though it's dangerous to do that too often, but let's assume this downtrend break holds here, and we can get rid of a lower target either now or in the future. Let's say that the downtrend break holds and we can get rid of those lower targets. Let's talk about what could happen now on the upside if we solidify this. So what I want to do is zoom out, show you silver. Now we're looking from 2011, the last peak at $50, through the present. So we're focused on this downtrend break right here. And what I want to do is show you the significance of these downtrend breaks, these multi-year primary downtrend breaks. Look at the last one right there in July of 2020. Notice how silver had just been grinding. Notice all these peaks matching up on a linear downtrend. And notice that when the break happened here, July of 2020, this was around $19 per ounce, silver shot from 19 up to 30 in 4 weeks. So it had taken silver, from the lows in here, that was a $7 move. It was then consolidating for 4 years, and once you break the downward structure, you tend to have these significant surges in a short period of time. Look at the one prior to that, back here in February of 2016. Notice silver had been declining, not only for 3 years, but really for almost 5 years from this peak, but the final portion of the decline taking this wedge shape. Notice the break right here, the primary downtrend break. Boom, it then stayed above that, and you had a $7 surge in silver in several months. Not only just $7, but remember this, if you're investing in some of the silver miners with us or on your own, a lot of the silver miners advanced by 500 or 1,000% in this $7 move in the price of silver. So, similar thing happened here in this move. A similar thing could be getting ready here at this primary downtrend break. Let's look at the last one that we have to talk about was back here in 2012. Notice you had been moving down for about a year. Primary downtrend break, boom, moving from 25 to 36 in just 5 weeks. So these primary downtrend breaks are critically significant. You can see the proof for that on the chart. We only have 4 of these signals over the last decade plus. And this is right on the line right now. And actually, technically speaking, we're above the line right now. What I want to do is talk about how that would play out. And the highest probability, we would have a mini surge first, up to that region around 29 or 30 as the next resistance. I then think there would be a little bit of a back off, perhaps back to 26 or so, representing these former swing lows down there. And from there, we would be powering our way higher later this year into 2023, certainly above the $30 mark. Next notable resistance is here at 35, going back to these peaks from 2012 and 2013. However, I will tell you, this could be getting ready. This could be getting ready to be the move back to 50. Once we break 30 here, this could be the move that really takes us to 50, which is then going to develop into the move above 50. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, however. We're looking at the primary downtrend break right now, which should be very significant when it solidifies. I want to show you just one more time the short term. Let's look at this. You can see how close this is here. Very, very close. Now, this is critical. Notice that just 6 trading days ago, in the panic about the Ukraine being invaded by Russia, silver spiked like this from $24.50 up to $25.60. Over a dollar spike in one day, and then what? Reversing the entire thing. So, no random coincidence that the entire thing was reversed, what? Right on our primary trend line. So clearly you have sellers ready to show up there on the primary trend. Now, the super impressive thing is that silver did not just reverse and start trending back down toward the recent lows, but instead buyers were waiting to buy here, just going back to some of these price levels from a week and a half ago. They were waiting right in there, and they're now giving us a secondary attempt to break this primary downtrend. Second attempt here in just 2 weeks. This is impressive, and it was a distinct separate attempt here, because you can see the first attempt come back down. Second attempt, and look, we've had 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th day in a row that they are managing to hold above the primary downtrend, just by a few cents, but we are above it. And you can see the technical posture that we're in right now. We're sandwiched right above the broken trend. And what? These peaks going back from November of 2021, November of last year, these peaks around $25.40. Notice where we are getting peaked out right now. This isn't going to take very long to resolve. My prediction is this will be either Friday, which is today by the time you're seeing it, or perhaps the overnight session, as we call it, Sunday night into Monday morning in Asia this coming week. I would expect that this thing is set to break. Now, if they can hold it here, if they can hold it above 25.10, then this thing is going to break strongly upward. That is the highest probability scenario if they can hold it above there. If, for whatever reason, there's some deflationary scenario, I'm watching right now a nuclear power plant is on fire in Ukraine, that's pretty significant. We are hearing rumblings of NATO involvement. That is significant. There is a Federal Reserve meeting coming up in just a week and a half. That is significant. All of these things could be potential catalysts for a major deflationary event. And that would be sort of the backdrop if they're going to try to shove this back below the trend line here over the next few days and cause some sort of mini final panic in silver down to some of the lows, or perhaps even down still to that target. Let's let the market tell us right now. If we can stay above this 25.10, silver looking really, really good. But let's watch it here into the weekend, especially let's watch it on Sunday night into Monday morning in Asia. This is the make or break time for silver. And remember those examples from the silver price and the gold price in Russian rubles. Remember, you do not want to be waiting, whether you're in Russia, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in the United States. This currency devaluation is going to be worldwide ahead of us. You do not want to wait until the average person is saying, hey, I'm going out to protect myself by buying some silver. You must buy your insurance policy before the disaster happens. This is how it works with health insurance. It's how it works with house insurance. And this is how it also works with precious metals as a currency savings insurance policy. You must take action before the disaster happens. If you would like to follow this type of work with us on a more in-depth level, the service for you is called Precious Metals Intelligence. If you want to participate and start getting involved in some of these gold and silver miners, which we said are leveraged to the price of silver, In this service, you can learn about the exact gold and silver miners that we are buying here in the open market. This also contains analysis not only on silver every single week. When we see this downtrend line being solidified, you will be the first to know about it here in the Precious Metals Intelligence Service. Not only do we cover silver, we cover gold, the US dollar, the US stock market, and everything happening around the world in premium weekly members-only videos, much more in-depth than what you're seeing now, typically 45 minutes to an hour every single week. Even if I don't have time to publish videos here, Precious Metals Intelligence members always get a video update every week. If you are a higher net worth investor, I want to tell you the way to get the highest amount of leverage in this sector, even more leverage than just the open market silver and gold miners, is through these private placements. Why? Why are private placements so powerful? It is because in private placements, we receive free warrants with each investment that we are making that gets us nearly twice the amount of upside as the open market investors with no additional risk, aside from the fact that we must hold these investments for a minimum of 4 months. But you know what? We're going to hold these things for 4 months anyway. So this is the way that we get that highest amount of leverage in the free warrants. I do not believe these mining companies will be giving any warrants a couple of years from now when the price of gold is above $2,000 per ounce and the price of silver is well above 30. I think they're going to stop offering these lucrative warrants. So you want to get involved with this now before the mining companies start tapering that back. Remember, you also get a free subscription to our flagship Precious Metals Intelligence with elite private placements, because I want you to stay up to date on all of our videos and everything happening in the commodities themselves and in the US stock market, etc. But make sure you take advantage of that if you have the discretionary funds to be participating with us. You can find out more on the website itself. If you would like to work with me one-on-one, I do work with individuals via consultation, phone, Skype, in person if you're in my area. And we cover this sector. We help individuals to strategize as to the best situation for them. This is simply from an independent perspective. This is from someone who does not take any funds or fees from any of the companies, any of the bullion dealerships, but I just look out for the best interests of investors. So whether you're just starting and you have no idea which gold coins or which silver coins are the best to buy, where you're not going to overspend on the premiums, but you're still going to get a good value, or whether you're a high net worth investor that is wanting to strategize on, let's say, a private placement portfolio, I can work with you to give us our best assessment as to your situation. Again, if you're in Ukraine, my heart goes out to you. Also, if you're in Russia, my heart goes out to you, because I mean, this is not good from either side of this, but certainly it's worse from the side of those who are being attacked. And so please protect yourself physically, protect yourself health-wise, protect yourself spiritually, and protect yourself financially, so that we can all make it through this period and do what is our birthright here on this planet, which is to thrive. Subscribe, like the videos. Thank you for those who are supporting this channel on Patreon. I will see you soon for the next video. Until then,